Sorry. People say that like it used to be a very arty neighborhood, and it's still. I feel like it's still very arty. There's a lot of new people moving in, a lot of new young families, and I think some of the old neighborhood people would have, maybe there was a bit of resistance to that, but I think that everything's going pretty smoothly. Yeah, we're good.
Is there anything that you think could be improved in this neighborhood that you would like changes that could be made?
Well, I think a lot of artists had to move out of the neighborhood because they couldn't afford the rent. So maybe if there was maybe like some sort of, I suppose, affordable housing as well, first and foremost, I suppose, but affordable maybe because the place was so kind of synonymous with art and maybe affordable studios or something like that.
Okay.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ireland.
You didn't get that? So cool. So because people raise their families here, do you think that it's more appropriate to like raise them in a different environment because of these factories and air? It doesn't affect.
I don't think so.
No?
I mean, it's New York, isn't it? I mean, like everywhere is built up, so I don't think so. I don't think so. Not personally, but then I don't know for sure. I would but I wouldn't say so personally.
So it doesn't affect you and your work? You work with children?
Yeah, I work with kids, yeah. Not at all. No, it's kind of like, I think by and large, children are kind of interested in the factories and all the construction that's going on because there's cranes and you're going to go like, oh, the workers, and, kind of explaining about construction, like good night construction site and those books and stuff.
Oh,
so
cute.
yeah, so I think that's the thing. I think that kids will find kind of wonder in anything. So.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Is there
so
a park by any chance for children?
Yeah, there's loads. There's a park over this direction, Camel Park, and then there's Pirate Park, and then there's loads of amenities for kids.
Good.
Yeah, there's loads of amenities for kids, like with all the young families. I think they're going to be improving. I think. Yeah, but getting more expensive though. That's the only thing.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time.
What is it like living in this area?
It's become extraordinarily different. I've been here for 17 years. It's become much more densely populated, and the nature of the population's changed drastically.
Okay. Why is it so quiet around here, I guess?
No truck traffic. Basically, that's it. It's become very residential, but there's not a lot of commercial traffic, which is why it's remained so quiet.
What do you think could be changed in the neighborhood?
Gosh.
What does it lack, more importantly?
Affordable housing,
Affordable housing.
which it's not going to get.
And why is that?
Why would it? I mean, if you look at what the Bloomberg administration started in terms of mixed commercial usage, in terms of ceilings for landlords, due brokerage for affordable housing units per capita, there's no reason. It's not going to change.
Wow.
Is there a utility that you would like to be seeing, like something that will make everyday life easier around the neighborhood? Or more convenient?
No, not really. What would I like to see in terms of development?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to see greater access to low-cost health care to the Farragut houses, which is 3 blocks that way.
Okay.
The income disparity in this neighborhood, the average among, let's call it straight, my people, median income is about $180,000 a year. Median income in the Farraguts is about 17. We live next door to each other.
Next to who?
Next door to each other.
To who?
We live next door to each other. The two groups coexist.
Can you name the groups? I'm sorry.
Sorry?
Can you name the groups for me, please? For record?
Let's call it the upper middle class and the poor. Simple as that.
Okay.
The one thing that we are confronted with on a daily basis is that our cats and dogs get better medical attention, better food, and more nurturing than the children who live a few blocks away.
Oh wow.
Wow.
That's life here.
That's such a drastic way to put it.
That's the truth. I mean, my cat has a better life than 90% of the kids I see in that housing development. And at one point it's horrifying, and at another point you just can't think about it. What can one person do so much? So
there are lots of factories in this area. So
not anymore. Not anymore. This power plant, which is at a marginal capacity at this point, is the only one that's left. It's Con Ed. They keep talking about shutting it down.
Yeah, it looks unpainted and unfinished.
It's neglected, is what it is.
It's neglected.
Yeah. They're talking about tearing it down. That could still happen.
And what do you anticipate would be built in replacement?
What else? Condos.
Wow, expensive
Condos.
condos.
Consider that a studio apartment in this neighborhood now costs $6,400 a month.
Wow.
Even if you had the bread, why in God's name would you
Yeah.
spend $6,400
In
a
one.
month on a room,
Yeah.
a 600 square foot room?
Yeah.
So, I mean, as you probably ascertaining, I have rent stabilization. I've been here for many years. I've got a nice sized place for very little money, but I'm one of maybe 2 or 3 left.
Wow.
So you would consider yourself indigenous to this area?
No, but a long term. I mean, 17 years is a long time.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
So, is that it?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's it.
Thank you
Okay.
so much. I mean, most problems that we've encountered with other interviews is the housing. So
As far as what with the housing?
finances and like affordability.
Oh yeah, definitely have heard that with all the improvements, especially with nearby Dumbo,
Yeah.
that the rents and all that and cost of living has gone up tremendously. I also know that this particular neighborhood doesn't want to see much of that upgrade come over to this side. Like they've been resistant against like stores and restaurants being opened. I know like the owner of this company here was once the like president of like the Vinegar Hill Society or whatever. He owned a house up the block, and for example, he's owned it for like over 10 years, and when he first owned it, it wasn't worth much because Dumbo wasn't established yet, and he was able to sell it for like millions. So that's just, you know, an example of what you're talking about as far as the cost of living going up here. But he also was an advocate for this restaurant on the corner opening, and the rest of the members of the group were like all against him for it opening, you know, and it still did open, and they weren't happy about it.
Because it would cause what attraction, more people to come in.
Probably. I don't know exactly why, but that seems like the reason. You know, they want it to remain quiet.
And more residential than as opposed to like commercial.
Exactly. But I feel like that's inevitable, like with the rise of Dumbo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you personally, have you seen anything else that you would like to change?
I mean, working here as opposed to living is different. I mean, since we work here, I would love if there were more restaurants and stores because the nearest store is 3/4 of a mile away, you know? So whenever we need something, we have to walk really far to get it. And also, with those stores being so far away, and because the neighborhood has transformed so much, those stores are like so expensive. So even if we walk far,
There's a higher demand.
yeah, exactly. So they can charge what they want, you know? And then there's also the fact that you have like the projects there. So it's just like you're charging all this money, but the neighborhood on the other side is not even equal to what you're charging. So I feel like there's not enough balance with the communities,
Yeah, that's
you know?
what our previous interviewee said. He said that his cat gets more resources, more health insurance, for example, than the children have in the project.
Yeah. So it's definitely very unbalanced, you know? I don't know how that could be maybe equalized at all, but that's definitely an issue.
So you would want more commercial places?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a residential area. Why wouldn't people want, you know, more
Comfort.
Yeah, I mean, even like a laundromat or just a
So
little
you've never seen a
supermarket. No, I haven't seen one. There's dry cleaners. Maybe these people rather
do their
dry
own.
clean. Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe they just all own washers. I don't know. But it's just very, you know, desolate around here at night. Like in the daytime, it's nice, but at night, it's kind of scary.
You haven't heard of any crime?
I've seen cars broken in around here. Yeah. But I haven't heard like on the news or seen anything about this area with any like people being hurt or anything like that, you know. So I think the crime rate is fairly low considering it's Brooklyn, but once again, once you leave here and it's night, it's really scary. you know.
There are no street lights or
I mean, there are, but they're not a lot, and
Yeah,
they're
because the area is still empty.
right. There's not a lot of traffic, so I guess they wouldn't put a lot of lights in the area. And you have this Con Ed factory over here, so sometimes there's like a really bad smell that circulates around here. I think it's like a disposal unit of some sort. So sometimes it smells really bad, and then like there's a lot of flies, especially in the summer.
because of that.
Yeah.
And plus, you're by the water, so it's even humid.
So in the summer, it's horrible. I mean, it's pretty, but it's kind of bad too.
So okay, do you drive here?
Yeah, I drive in.
So how do you feel about these roads?
Oh, they're horrible. They mess up the tires, I mean, it's nice to see the cobblestone and everything.
It's just difficult to drive on. Difficult to
Yeah, I feel like they should maintain it more. Like, it's a historic, this is what they call a landmark, like through the landmarks preservation. It's a historic site, this whole area. So like, if anybody wanted to have something done, they would have to go through the landmarks preservation committee
Yeah.
to get approval before anything can be done. So I just think that they should be doing more to preserve the cobblestones, you know, maybe filling them a little bit with something so that it's not, because they definitely, like, look at this big pothole over there, like that's not even a cobblestone, you know. And if it's costing so much for people to live here,
They should at least maintain it.
yeah, definitely.
Okay. Any more questions?
I think that's it.
You sure?
Thank you. Wait, do they have school here?
There's one school right here on the next block. It's like an elementary school.
Is it public or private?
It's public. It's public. Yeah, that's the only one that I've seen around here.
You
Yeah.
wouldn't live here.
Not for this cost. It's more than Manhattan, I hear.
Somebody was
Is
like,
it?
how one studio was like $64,000.
Yeah. It's really expensive. I mean, like, if I had to choose between living like here, I would probably, if I could afford to live here, I'd probably go to like Williamsburg, you know, because it's just as expensive there and it's nice.
It's more commercial.
Yeah, it's like restaurants in every, you know, every
Like,
corner.
What's it?
Yeah, it's more worth it than here. I mean, but if you prefer quiet, like, once again, going back to my boss who owned the building here in the corner, and you guys could walk down there and take a picture of it, because we totally renovated it. It's, if you walk down this block, it's the one on the corner
On the right?
on the left hand side. His wife wanted to move because it was so quiet, you know, and also because they were having a baby and it was like several floors. But they moved to Williamsburg because of the life, the social life out there, and they just felt better living there than here. They didn't think it was worth living here anymore. And it wasn't even, and it wasn't even really like the price for them because they owned the house, so it's not like it was too expensive. It was just
Not convenient for you.
yeah.
If without establishing more commercial places, do you think there's a way to like liven up the community here?
I really don't see how. You know what it is too? A lot of people that live in this neighborhood are much older. Like, everyone that lives around on this block are very old. You know, they've owned these places from way long ago, before it was worth anything.
So rent isn't gonna rise on them because they've been here before the change.
Right. And that's why a lot of these houses aren't even, you know, done. They haven't been updated because they probably can't afford it, you know, but they don't have to. But that's why I probably wouldn't get more live either, because they're so old.
Yeah, I haven't even seen one Christmas decoration.
Exactly. So if they didn't have bars and restaurants for outsiders to visit, there's no other way to make it better.